Hi, I had all the best intentions to start doing this much earlier, but things happen. So we are in early afternoon at the moment, around 2 o'clock I think. So I'm about to prepare the 3 nursery seeds for next season 2025. I'm trying to film as best as I can, but I will be getting quite dirty on my hands, so I don't know if I'll be filming every stage, but I wanted to show you. There's people curious how this is done, and it's good to learn. I've learned from other people, so I'm sharing it with others as best as I can. So we've got lots of kilograms of hazelnuts, cob nuts actually. They're cultivated hazelnuts, so they're bigger nut size, as you can see here, compared to wild hazelnuts. So I've had these soaking in water in this box for the last 4 or 5 days. Last year I did it for 3 or 4 days, but it was the weekend, so we weren't able to do it sooner. This is Monday, so this is when I'm able to do it. So I'm going to dump these out of the box because I will be using this box to store the seeds over winter. They need cold stratification for about 3-4 months of the year. So the other boxes are busy at the moment. They're filled with saplings, which I will be removing soon to fill them in. As you can see, here's one of the boxes that's probably not the one I used the seeds, but similar box to the ones I stratified the seeds in last year. So I'll be doing the same. I'll be planting seeds in boxes like these or bigger ones. You can see the hazels are going to sleep now, but they developed really well. The more soil they have, the better they develop. As you can see, planted in the same year. But yeah, I'll be taking these out of the boxes. These were planted in the spring, in case you don't know, if you haven't seen the other videos, and they developed, as you can see. 2 more boxes in there, the bathtub and another smaller boxes. I think that's actually the first box, or maybe the ones I had the seeds in. It doesn't matter anyway, that's details. Okay, let's go back to the hazel seeds. But these, you can see, these developed really well just from seeds like you saw earlier, planted at the end of February. Here in Scotland, at least where we live in southwest Scotland near Wigtown, we haven't been colder since we moved here 2 years ago. We haven't been colder than -6 degrees, I think, Celsius. That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So what I did last year, anyway, it was the first year, I put them in the box, layered them with wood chips from, as you can see, I have there, and I left them over winter. I didn't cover them or do anything else special. In other climates, if it's much colder, people cover, even bury the boxes, making sure obviously they have drainage holes underneath the box. I mean, through the box obviously, and even cover them with leaves and something like that if it gets really cold. But I don't think we need to do that in Scotland. This is what I did last year, so this is my recommendation for you. This is a 64-liter box. Oh, actually this is 84-liter box, but the other ones were 64 liters that I showed you, the smaller ones. So this in here, I think they're about maybe 35 kilograms of nuts. I ordered 16 total, but we'll be keeping some to eat, and some were empty or weren't suitable, so I cleaned about 52. I've dehusked, and obviously they're not all in here because I threw some away to put in the garden, the shells and stuff, if they were empty or if they were damaged by critters or stuff like that. So I just kept the good seed, the one I thought is the best seed for planting, the best genetics. As you can see, large size, good. So yeah, now I will be emptying the box probably here, because I wish I had that box to do it. I would have just taken the seeds out and moving them in the other box, but I don't. So I'll be taking that out and layering them, putting a layer of wood chips on the bottom, a layer of cob nuts, a layer of wood chips, until the box is filled up. Then I'll cover it with a lid and put stones on top so no animals can get through. I'll put the box on top so we can drain well. I have to make the holes because this one doesn't have any holes, as you can see, it holds water. So yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll be able to film. I might show you at the end, because if I'm getting dirty on my hands and I'm losing light, we're in November now, so days are really short. But yeah, you can see this. These wood chips have one cap mycelium in, because I took from the main wood chip bed. So I'll be layering. I think the mycelium might be useful because in case any mold forms on the nuts, it might help to clean, to eat that. But I don't know, we'll see. It's only the second year. Every year we learn something. Okay, I'm gonna stop just speaking and do what I have to do. That's the drill I'm gonna use to make the holes in the bottom. That's what I used last year. It went really well because we don't want large holes, but we don't want them too small either. We want to make sure that the box drains well, but no mouse gets in to eat the nuts, or squirrels, anything like that. I've emptied the cob nuts from the box. I'm gonna drill the holes in now. Okay, I've drilled some holes. I think last year I drilled more, but I'm really losing light, so I think these will be enough drainage holes. If I want to make more, to use the box to air prune box, to air prune the hazels, I might drill more in the spring, although I doubt it because it will be cold then. But basically, if you don't know what air pruning is if you have holes on the bottom, ideally we would use a wire mesh, but because I'm using this plastic box, I would need more holes. Sorry, I would need more holes, so when the seeds send the roots down, it will reach this air, and the roots will be air pruned, so they won't go down into the cement or whatever it's outside the box. It will go laterally and grow, make more roots basically, rather than just one long root. But for drainage holes and even for air pruning a little bit, I think these holes will be enough. This is kind of the size you can see in comparison to my fingers. They're not too large. I think that's suitable size in my opinion, not too big. You can see why I didn't drill more, because it cracked here, so I don't want box cracking in more places. I'll put a stone inside or something. Ideally I would use wood and a wire mesh, not plastic, but this is used plastic. Box is made of reused plastic, and that's what I was able to do. So in the future, hopefully in the spring, we'll be able to make some proper air prune boxes. I've put a stone in that spot where the crack was forming, as you can see there, just covering it. And when I'll put the wood chips, I'll have to be careful not to move the stone. So the first layer, deep layer, I have to be careful not to move it, because then it won't be covering the crack. It happened to me last year because I used something else instead of a drill initially when I started doing the holes, and I made a larger crack actually than this. It was actually a proper crack, but I covered it in the same way with a stone, and that was it. Okay, I'm gonna start layering. Hopefully the rain won't start. It will let me do what I have to do. This is the first layer. I'm usually putting the bottom layer thicker just to insulate better. I don't know if it's right or not. It's just my intuition. I'm using that as a guide. So that's what I did last year. The bottom layer and I think the top layer as well were a bit thicker compared to the middle layers, because obviously the middle will be warmer in a sense, so the bottom will be in direct contact with more cold air and stuff. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna start layering the cob nuts. Okay, this is the layer of coconuts, and from now on this is what I'll be doing. I'll just be adding wood chips, coconuts, wood chips, coconuts until I fill the box to the top. As you can see, they're quite close together, but I think they will be okay, even if some of them form rust over the winter. If water will be coming through, hopefully it will clean that away and it won't cause damage to other coconuts. We'll see. I'll have to keep an eye on over the winter months. This is the third layer of coconuts. You can probably see through the box a bit. One layer here and there's another one there. Put quite a few in here. Normally I wouldn't want to put so many close together, but I only have this box and one of those for now, so ideally I would have used 2 of these boxes to layer them and leave more room in between them. But you know, second year I'm still experimenting to see if I can get away with this. The fewer materials we use, the better. But yeah, again, you can see massive coconuts, delicious. I've been munching on them since we received the delivery. It's so delicious. I've brought another bucket of wood chips. You can see there's mycelium wine cap, delicious edible wine cap mushrooms. Comes from this wine cap mycelium. You can see we still have put a third layer and we still have lots. Last year I only had like 10 or 15 kilograms and I used a box and 2 of the little ones. So we'll see how much we can fit this year. I've got 6 layers, I think, of hazels, coconuts. Hopefully I'll be able to close the box. I don't think last year I made the box so full. But yeah, it's not straight because the ground is not leveled. But it's quite, here you can see I can barely put a layer of wood chips and then close the box. Okay, the box is full. I'll be able to close it. I tested it earlier, so I added more wood chips on top, not a thin layer. So we have a thick layer on top, thick on the bottom, thinner in the middle. But yeah, we have more coconuts in the box than last year. I put them thicker, playing a bit with fire, but hopefully it'll be okay. I also found 2 white worms earlier when I was picking coconuts from there, and I'm not sure if they were in the box through the coconuts or they are from outside. I squished them. Don't know what kind of worms they are, but I don't want them to go in the box and then over winter perhaps go in all the nuts and destroy them. Hopefully there's none of them left, but yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. And I won't have to water this box for now because, as you can see, the wood chips are quite moist. It's been raining for the last couple of days and I took these from outside in the front garden. So yeah, it'll be okay, I think. They're not like soaking wet, they're just more, they have enough moisture to keep the coconuts nice and moist, not dry over winter. But I will be putting more water unless I make drainage holes on top of the box. See, closing this, it's all closed, and I might make drainage holes. Last year I didn't, I just put stones on top, and when I considered it needed watering, I just lifted the lid, watered the box with 1 kettle maybe or 2 of water, so it drains all the way to the bottom, and that was it. But yeah, and I'm gonna do this box now. We'll see if it's enough to put all the coconuts in there. Yeah, if not, I'll do it in another box. What else to tell you? I think this has been quite a long video. Hopefully it was useful enough. Yeah, this is how much is left. Still have some coconuts in the kitchen, in the house. probably dehusk some more. I have about 10 or 8 kilograms to dehusk. I didn't worry about those too much because I thought we'll be keeping them to eat them, but I might put some more because these stay like raw, nice and crunchy until March. Like last year when I checked the boxes to see about mold and everything else, they were perfectly fine to be eaten. They hadn't sprouted, some of them, yet, so we were still able to eat them. And I prefer them like that, raw, rather than dried, or like, you know, put in the oven and dried. I like that they're more milky. I prefer them that way. Not everyone does, but I do. Hopefully in a couple of years we'll have cob nuts from our own garden. Who knows? Can't wait. Look at these beauties. Okay, better get on with doing the rest. Thank you for watching. One more look for this video at the cob nut trees we grew from, or hazelnut trees we grew from seed this year. As mentioned earlier, I put them in the boxes. I planted them, I mean, in spring, at the end of February, early March this year, 2024. We're now in November, I think 4th of November or 5th of November today. So you can see how much they grew. All these were planted at the same time, more or less, maybe a week and a half difference between this box and that box. That was first planted. This was the last one we were able to build. Hopefully we'll make another one, long one, for next year, and grow more beautiful hazel trees and provide food for the future and clean air and all sorts of good things. So yeah, this is how you can kind of grow a couple of hundreds, if not thousands, of trees in a small area. Obviously we have a biggish garden here, but the boxes could have been much closer put together, and you can imagine, like you can see just these two here, and next year I'm hoping to put more boxes next to each other here in this area and by the fence, by the currents. And yeah, you can see this one has about 60 hazel saplings in it. That one has at least 100, and they're the tallest ones. Some of those are over a meter long in just one season, not even a year. So March, or like late February to November, that's not 12 months, it's less than a year. But they have good growing soil in there. I've planted some in the garden directly, and they're much smaller depending how much sun they got, how good the soil was, how rich, you know. We just have to enrich the soil and give them the right condition to the seeds, and they will grow, hopefully. Yeah, give them a lot of love and care. I mean, I didn't have to do too much. I weeded them over the course of the year, especially at the beginning when they were wee saplings, and I weeded them early. So once that's done, I think I did it like 3 times. I just pulled a few weeds. Once they grow larger, they shade everything else, so it's not much competition. I mean, hazels are really strong, beautiful, so they're great for a variety of things. Obviously the nuts, they're delicious. We can coppice the trees in a couple of years, have wood, use the poles for climbing beans or for climbing plants. We can do baskets with the wood. It's very very hazel, very strong for creating habitat, creating hedges to prevent wind. You know, I'm in love with hazel. There are so many reasons, and it's really easy to grow as well, you know. So especially kids, I think they would have a great time learning how to grow trees. You know, you give them a seed and they plant them, and they plant it and they watch it grow into a tree. You know, in 10 years there's massive forest that gives them nuts. I mean, obviously it will be even less than that if they have the right soil. At least 3 years, I think it will be enough if they have the good quality soil. These saplings are planted in a good quality soil, because obviously they had a great time in this soil. But if they're planted in like clayish, muddy, wet soil, they will struggle. But if they're planted in at least average conditions, not necessarily perfect like they were in that box, the soil there is very rich, but if they're in average soil, they will grow really well, and in a couple of years you'll be, I mean, you can see already it's like a forest in there already. And you can imagine in like 3 years, if they grew this much in one season, if they grow at least that much in 2 years, let's say, even if the soil it's more like it's less quality, it's still like a massive tree. You can create like habitat for birds and protection from wind in no time. They just need a little bit of protection, like babies, you know, when they're young and little, they have to be protected by their parents so they can grow and be strong on their own. So a couple of years of loving care, and then they grow into beautiful beings that provide so much for so many creatures. Anyway, a lot of talking but I hope you found this video useful. If you need saplings yourself for planting, I will have some for sale this season and until spring, depending on how well they sell. I'll have some at the Wigtown market, a festive market at the end of November on the 30th. That's 30th of November in the county buildings in Wigtown. I'm not sure if I'll post the video by then, but if I do, that's just in case you wanna come. I'll have bunches, probably bunches of 10 saplings to give, to sell. I mean, you can buy them as gifts and all sorts of stuff. And I'll have, of course, my usual stuff, my books and new things. I'll have greeting cards, and I have to order those soon after I sort out the seeds, the hazel seeds. I'll be doing that. I can't wait. I'll be sharing that soon. Just a few videos to give you an idea of the images that I sorted with the beautiful Scotland and other places that are also very beautiful in the world. And these, just to get a bit out in the garden. I won't be filming all of the garden because the video is already very long, but I just wanted to show you how you can make a food forest even with just 2 plants. If you have, for example, the hazels, you saw how well they can grow in just 1 year. And then you have the delicious currants. They have no currants at the moment on them, but these are 2nd year currants, and you can see this is Rosetta. You can see how many branches it made in 2 seasons. I mean, I took cuttings this spring and the bush made more, and I'll be taking more in the spring and planting them. And you can see, if you take, like, if we cut them and then put them in the ground, currants are very easy to root, and you'll have hazels and currants, some of the easiest to grow and the most delicious, in my opinion. Some of the most delicious nuts and currants, berries, whatever you want to call them. And underneath we also have Wigtown mycelium more, so we'll be having mushrooms as well, edible mushrooms that makes great soil because they're decomposers. My Wigtown mycelium uses wood chips to feed itself, and this way it decomposes and makes fertile soil, because this area was very compacted. As you can see, a lot of long grass, keep chopping it and it grows really fast. So I've been applying a lot of mulch and growing the soil and enriching the soil, making it better, you know. So if we feed the soil well and give it what it needs, it gives much more back. The hills, nice cloudy rainy day. Better get back to doing what I have to do because it's gonna start raining soon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have, please share the video with other people so they can learn too, so we can plant more forests in the world, food forests. That would be lovely to see what everyone else is doing. Leave your comments, what you'd like more to see as well, or what you've learned from the video. I know I can be rambling a bit or a bit more in my videos and in life in general, but I hope you learned something from my videos, something useful, beneficial for your life. Take care, have a lovely afternoon, and if I don't see you for the upcoming festive season, I wish you all the best, good health and lots of joy to you and your family. Take care.